Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Raybearer by Jordan Fuenka. This is a young adult fantasy duology, and you're following, in the beginning of the book, you learn that this woman called the Lady she decides to have a child with a djinn, and she is making every effort to have that child kill the crown prince of this world. What I loved the most about this book is the world building. I just found it to be, there were so many fantasy elements that I just absolutely loved in terms of like the council that you meet, the characters. This has a very strong found family vibe. I absolutely loved our main character. I loved our main character's love interest. The only like weak point for me is that I don't know if like the writing was like I prefer like a more like epic flowery writing style, but this was like so good for what it was, and I feel like the writing style in here, if it had been any more complicated, I think it would have made the world even more difficult. I don't know. There's just so many scenes in here with our main character and side characters, and like where we start off from where the character is to how she ends the book is just such a clear, good, amazing character arc. And there's just so many, again, like the fantasy elements of this book are so good. Like there's a lot of stuff to do with like memories and like certain characters on the council, like they all have like their own power and like they all have like this psychic connection. Like it's just so good. And there's like different ways to travel from world to world, and like if certain things happen, I don't want to spoil too much, but I want to give you enough. Like you really should pick this up because it's just so good. And there's like a lot of like history and lore in the world that we kind of get into a little bit, and there's certain like plot points and reveals. Like I love a good reveal because obviously, like I said, like with what the plot is of the book, like you slowly unravel like why the lady is doing what she's doing, and I find it to be such a very satisfying answer. And the way the book ends like is very intriguing for sequels, and like it kind of has like a who are we gonna meet next aspect to it that I love. And yeah, like I feel like, so like the plot, I don't want to spoil anything about the plot, okay? But like that, I told you like at the beginning, I think that's in the first or second chapter as far as that's concerned. The world building is fantastic, and the characters are just fantastic. Like again, like the found family elements of the book are so good, and like what we discover with our character, like I will just say I love the way that this book specifically explored like when you yourself feel like you are wrong in a way, or that you are, how much of you is yourself versus what other people want from you. I think that was such a well explored theme in this book. Certain thoughts our main character has just really resonated with me on a very deep level, and it was just so good. I think I loved every single character in here, and I think something that Jordan Fuenka does really well in this book is, while there are definitely a lot of people involved in this story, we really are kind of like honed in and focused on our main character and the people that surround her. Because I was just thinking about this as I was reading this and how much I was enjoying it, because there's other books I've read lately that have like different POVs, and you just really, something about the way this is written is like exactly how I want it to be written. Like we're focused on one character, but I think this is told in first person. So I just feel like we really get in the mind of our character with that sense, but the world feels so massive. So I love like first person with like this massive world, but I definitely can get into like third person omniscient, like for sure. I think my personal favorite is that style, but I think this just does first person so well. And I think because it's first person, like the perspective feels small, but you can just tell from the way it's written that the world is huge and massive, and there's just so much to explore in terms of the world. There's history, lore, magic, like characters all having different powers and utilizing those powers to come together in a certain way that's just so satisfying to read. And this was also a reread for me. Like I read this last year, the year before, maybe 2022, I think. And rereading this was absolutely 100% the right choice because I wanted to continue the series. But I just found myself like, if I wasn't grasping something, I would rewind the audiobook, because I did this entirely on audiobook. And I think the narrator did such a good job. She's a pretty popular narrator, but I really, yeah. Like just making sure I got every detail in my head obviously enhanced my experience. So like I first gave this a 4-star, but I'm gonna give this a 4.5 as of now. And if you have read it, I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on it. I will be posting a spoiler filled review as well. So if you want to discuss spoilery thoughts with me, you can do that once that video is up. But that's all I'm gonna say for now. So I will leave my Instagram, Goodreads, and Twitter. It will all be in the description for you to check out if you would like. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.